Welcome, everyone is an HTC Desire 20 Pro, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a brief overview of the device. So let's pop it open and see what we get inside the box apart from the phone itself. So we got a cardboard box, nothing in here. Then the phone itself, I'm gonna set it to the side for now. And here we get some stickers, whatever. SIM eject tool, paperwork, headphones, kind of look like earbuds from Apple, but just different color. Then we got a Type-C cable from Type A, and a charger which is 18 watts max, so not the fastest charger out there. I'll just get rid of this now and move to the phone itself. So the phone that I have in front of me is the Onyx black color. There is another one which I actually don't know the name to it, so sorry for that. And as you can see, the device is already set up just to speed up the process here. Let's max out the brightness, even though it's not that much. So the specifications of the device, starting off with the display, it's a 6.5 inch display, 1080p panel, more precisely 1080 by 2340, with a 83.1% screen to body ratio and 396 pixels per inch on an LCD IPS display. So honestly, the specs aren't necessarily mind-blowing here for the display. They're kind of what you would expect from basically any device in 2020 now. Now, in my opinion, it is missing a little bit of a faster refresh rate, but oh well, I guess I will live with that one. Then moving on the front, apart from the display, you also have the selfie camera, which is a 25 megapixel wide sensor that shoots at 1080p 30 frames, and then at the back, if we flip it over, let me just unlock the device, there we go. If we flip it over, you have another 4 sensors. So the main shooter is a 48 megapixel wide sensor, then we get an 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and 2 megapixel depth. And again, all that kind of equates to shooting at 4K 30 and 1080p 30, which is kind of a shame, but I'll still furthermore see how well it does the job. So let's actually whip out the plant here and see how well it can capture. So now these tests won't be as anything special here. I'm just gonna capture a couple mediocre photos, as I always do, and see how well it comes out in terms of colors and also quality. So it does have a macro. Let's see if it switches automatically. It looks like it does not. So now I'll have to figure out how to change it to the other one. Okay, there we go, macro. So let's start with the 2 megapixel macro. So as you can see, this is how it comes out. It actually does it fairly well. It did capture, I think, a little bit more sharpness in the back, but still, it's actually not bad. It's still not necessarily mind-blowing here. So this is an example. You know what? I'm gonna bring my phone and see how well that does, just as a test. Now, personally, I'm not exactly sure what my macro lens is here. Okay, so you can clearly see the the difference here. And so This is a actual good macro lens here, and this is the comparison to it. So not sure how well you can see it, maybe if I bring it in closer. So there is, well, absurd amount of quality in this one. This just looks like a blurry mess now. If you're not going to be comparing it to a, I guess, 2.5-year-old flagship, then it might be okay. If you're planning to, well then kind of pictures fall apart. But then, as we already seen, this is a 2 megapixel macro lens, which honestly feels like they added it in more for just the purpose of saying that it has quad camera setup, rather than actually being useless or useful, I mean. Now, I also have a theory that if we capture this same photo with just a normal lens, it will probably be more detailed than this one. So let's see how that kind of comes out. If my hand wouldn't be shaking, that would be nice. Okay. Hopefully. And yeah, like I thought. And so, I mean, I was a little bit too close, so you'd have to go a little bit further back. But as you can see, there is way more quality in the back area where it actually caught the focus rather than the front. That's just my bad, but you can see it clearly right here. This is way better than the macro lens by unproportional margin. So this lens, if you're buying this for the camera, it doesn't have a quad camera setup. It has, well, at least one useless sensor that isn't very good at anything. So you can clearly see that the normal 48 megapixel wide sensor, the main shooter, does a better job at macro shooting than the dedicated macro lens. So I already seen this before with the OnePlus Nord. They did the same thing. They also had the depth sensor as well, which did basically nothing, along with a macro that also did nothing. And it looks like the trend here is the exact same thing. So apart from that, let's actually see the Selfie. Now I'm gonna be the candidate here, and with my completely messy hair. So let's see how that comes out. And by God, is there a lot of face smoothing. I look like a teenager here. So there is zero detail in the face. Now let's see if actually I can get rid of some face smoothing. Oops, didn't want to leave. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit better. Let's see how that came out. It's still a blurry mess, but a little bit better. So, as you can see, the cameras aren't necessarily anything special here. They're actually quite disappointing. So, now that we get that out of the way, we can move into the specifications of the device, which also aren't anything mind-blowing here. So we got a Snapdragon 665 with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 built-in storage, plus expandable via the SD card. So sounds all good. RAM is okay, storage is also okay. The processor for the device is, well, mediocre at best. The battery is also fine. It's a 5000 milliamp hour battery, but the charging is, like I said before, 18 watts, so not the best charging here, I'm not gonna lie. And so this is probably one of those devices that you'll have to leave overnight to charge, although the battery should last you a decent amount of time, primarily because the specifications of the device aren't necessarily anything mind-blowing. And apart from that, probably the last thing to mention is the price of the device, which in my opinion is way too overpriced. It costs $300. Now, for $300, just to put that in perspective, you can get, I guess, a better phone, significantly better phone, something like a Realme X50 that comes already with 5G capability. Has a 120 Hz refresh rated display, and well, definitely faster processor, and basically everything that you have here plus more. Also the cameras will be better. I have done the test with that device not too long ago, so you can also look that up if you're interested to see. And the price is actually about $50 less, I think, something around those lines. So not only is it cheaper, it's faster, shoots better photos, and is just in general better in everything that this device tries to accomplish. So not really sure why you would want to go for this device. Like I said, it isn't doing anything really good. The price is marked up a little bit too high. If it falls down in price by about a third to like $200, then sure, I can recommend you. But other than that, even at $250, still you have the Realme that is a better choice, or even the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9S, which is basically the same as the Realme X50 in terms of specifications, which means that it's going to be better than this device. So those are two way better alternatives to this device that come at a cheaper price. And if this device falls down to the same price as those two other ones, well, it's still, I would tell you to go for a different device, because number one, I doubt that it's going to fall a third of the price, and even if it does, it's still going to be worse than the two other devices. So honestly, I'm not sure who's this device being marketed to. HTC isn't necessarily the king that it used to be, but they most certainly keep the price up like they think that they are. So yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. Probably, well, the primary thing is try to stay away from this device. I don't think it's worth the money in any kind of way. And yeah, so this would, I guess, conclude the overview of the device, and wasn't necessarily the most glamorous one. But if you found the video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.